And we are live. Come on in. How is everybody today? TGIF. It's Friday. How are you? How are you all doing? Come on in. Come on and join us. I'm going to take a quick drink while you guys are joining us today. Can you believe that it's day 5? Like literally, we have been on this journey for 5 whole days together, step by step along the way. And I'm so excited to deliver this last piece for you today. It's going to be super exciting because not only are we going to give you information to pull your plan together, we're also going to do some giveaways today. And we're also going to help you to make the best decision for your plan moving forward. So as people are coming in, come and say hi, and I'll check you out. There's Rosie on board. Rosie's already going to be one of our unicorns. So come on in and join Rosie. Penny's there too. Hello, says Brio. Hello, Brio. Brio is a unicorn. We have some unicorns in our field of magical unicorns. So I'm so excited for today. Totally pumped. It's going to be a really cool one. So as people are coming in, a couple of little things. I want to do a bit of a recap. I want to check in where you're at. I want to see what you thought of yesterday's workouts, because we were eating like a woman, training like a warrior, and feeling like a goddess yesterday. So I want to hear what you guys thought of the Prudies, what you guys thought of your workouts. We shared a bodyweight yoga HIIT workout. We shared a lean HIIT for our swingers that you could do as a follow along workout. We also shared a little bit about rest and recovery in terms of foam rolling and your Epsom salts bath. And of course, we talked about our Prudie. I am joined by a Prudie today. Today's Prudie is chocolate cherry. I'm having it for my lunch. So yeah, it's very fancy. It's very nice. So who's on board today? We've got Lynn Van Eek. Is that how you say Eek or Eek? I would love to know. From Calgary, Alberta. We've got the lovely Canadians in the house. Brio's on, Penny's on, Rosie's on, Nikki's on, Trisha is on from Ontario. Yep, another Canadian. Come on in, ladies. Nikki's here. Lots and lots of ladies joining us. I see that there's more, but they haven't said hello, and that's okay. You'll say hello when you're in. There's Holly. Holly has joined us every single day. Holly, thank you for joining. It's been really nice with connecting not just our ladies who are in our Sexy Strong program, who have gone through the 6-week Transformation Unicorn Challenge, but also new lovely ladies on board too. Okay, so do write in the comments below what you think, what you thought of the training and the eating, what your thoughts about Prudies are, what your thoughts about the workouts are. Did you get the workout done yesterday? If not, are you banking it to do it today? Would love to hear that. Oh, we have one Facebook user saying hi. Just so you know, Facebook user, can't see who you are. Would love to see your face and your name. All you got to do is go over to streamyard.com/Facebook, tick a little box, give it permission to use your name and your wee profile picture, and then I can say hi directly to you, because I will, for a little shout out. Okay. So wanted to do a little recap. So it's been really interesting 4 days, right? Lots of eye-opening. I'm getting messages from all of you and the comments below about aha moments and how this has been really enlightening and eye-opening, and starting to understand this concept of why you maybe haven't stuck to something before, or why you've struggled to stick to something, but also how you can just feel stronger now because of the choices that you make, right? So it's really about learning about yourself, right? Knowing enough about yourself to know, okay, well, if I want to set myself up for success, then I need to choose to do it this way. And understanding your motivation, understanding how your hormones impact everything, understanding about, you know, the type of exercise to be doing, to train towards your goals, to eat towards your goals, and that's kind of where we're at. So we're going to give you there's Michelle. I can see you today, Michelle. Michelle's in. Lynn also says, oh, there's Monique. Hi, Bobby's in. Hi. Come on in. I love the Prudie. I was going to try the foam rolling later. I don't feel very well this week. Okay, if you're not feeling great, the foam rolling and the bathing might be better, but the Prudie is also a great tool if you don't feel great, because if you don't want to eat a lot, or if you don't feel so great, it's really good for settling stomachs, and also because it's basically a full bone balanced meal in a bottle, right? Because it's got your, if you're looking at macros, it's got proteins, carbs, and, well, this one does today because it has cherries, which are the carbs. It has the flax seeds, which are the carbs and the fats. And it's got 2 scoops of, and it's, well, it's also got carbs from the cacao powder, because it's carbs, quite high. Actually, it's quite high in carbs, the cacao. And I add a little bit of chocolate flavoring and 2 scoops. It's a 2 scoop pretty today. I can see you now, Nicolette. Look, in fact, I'm going to show you off. There you go. It's always nice. It's always nice to be able to show you all off. Okay. So thank you for doing that, because I like to see your little faces. I do. And as you see mine, I like to see yours and know that we're interacting. Oh, and you've ordered. Yes, I saw somebody had ordered. So I'm drinking. So what's in my, what's exactly in my Prudie? You always like to know this. So I'm going to tell you. By the way, I always generally share my Prudhies on my Instagram if you want to follow me at Lisa_Barwise. But today it's 2 scoops of unflavored The Protein Works raw vegan protein with almond milk. It was about almond milk to there, and I topped it up a little bit with water. Sometimes I like it thicker, sometimes not. Again, you'll start to notice how you like to have your Prudhies. It's got a teaspoon of cacao, 2 dessert spoons of flax seeds, palm size of cherries, frozen cherries, a teaspoon of my chocolate Sweet Freedom chocolatey saucy thing. And today was just I felt like I wanted chocolate, so that's why I'm having it. So there's no veg in it, but I'm okay with that. I ate an enormous amount of veg yesterday, and I'm going to eat lots and lots of broccoli and kale later today. Okay. Oh, okay, perfect. Got my Protein Works delivery today. Okay, so, and there's Hema on board. Yes, Brio asked which ones did you order? Always like to know. And she got hers today as well. Well done. What flavor, Protein Works did you get? We'd love to know. Yes. That's wonderful, Trisha. What an amazing comment. She says, this 5-day challenge makes me realize I don't have to go hard at physical and mental transformation. I can progress with little consistent victories. I am so excited that that's the message that's coming through, right? Because that's the message that we want for you. It's about being, I suppose, smarter. And I don't like to say that in terms of, you weren't smart before type of comment, but it's like when you have the information, and coming from me being, and I really too want you to understand, I say this with love about myself, that I am someone who is lazy in a lot of ways, but I'm a big procrastinator. I'm a big perfectionist. So for me, I have to find things that work for my energy levels, that work for my ability to want to follow through on something. And also the fact that I do have ADHD, so for me, it has to be something that's focused or holds my attention or keeps me wanting to be consistent. And this is why this works, because it's fun, it's fast, it's small, it's little mini victories. It's not big, throw yourself at the wall type of gestures to get stronger and fitter, and it fits into your day. Like, it should feel like this is just part of who you are, but it takes a little while to get there, right? So we want to be able to help and support you today. So I'm going to show Brio had her 2 scoop vanilla wonder shake. Yep. Banana, kale, spinach, celery, cucumber, and romaine lettuce. Wow. She loves her greens. I think that if you actually cut open Brio, she would bleed green. That's how much greens the Brio consumes. I personally can never put celery or cucumber in a Prudie. I can put it in a juice. I can have a juice. I prefer to eat my celery, and it's really interesting. I would eat, and people think this is not true, but it is true. I would eat a bushel of celery at a sitting quite easily. So like last night, I had a bushel of celery, just sat and ate it. It's sliced into little sticks to make it easier. But I don't even like to dip it with hummus. I got some hummus out and was like, don't really want the hummus. I just want the celery. So we are, we're all unique little snowflakes with that. Oh, okay. So Nicolette has asked, where are the apps for tracking your cycle? I think, and I really hope I have done, that in your assignments page under day 3, there was a little box for the My Flow one. Okay. So let me double check, because I have it actually open so I can have a quick look for you guys. 5 challenge steps. Yeah, let me just double check that it's definitely working. Yes, it is working. Okay, so if you go, so there's two, right? And I'll share the second one with you. So if you go to your assignment housing, this is where all your assignments at the very bottom of that page. On day 3, there's the My Flow tracker. If you look under day 3, there's 2 buttons, the second button. And then there's another one called Hormone Horoscope. And you can just buy the light version, which is free. Okay, so those are the 2 ones that I like. My Flow gives you more of the detail of what eating and training to be thinking about. And then the hormone horoscope goes kind of into today you'll want to shop till you drop type of stuff, which is really cute. Oh, yeah. Okay. So just so you know, Facebook user, thank you. I hope you're all smashing it. Would love to know if you could go on over to streamyard.com/Facebook and tick a little box to give it permission to use your face and your name so we can know who you are and say thank you for all of your wonderful encouragement. There we go. Okay, beautiful. Love the feedback, ladies. So what are we going to do today? So there's a couple of really exciting things. We are going to do going to give you the 7-day cycle. We're going to talk about how the 7-day cycle works so you can create a plan for you to achieve your goals. Then we're also going to do some giveaways. We're going to give away some products that we haven't even launched yet, which I'm really excited about. And then we're going to tell you or teach you, which I promised I would teach you yesterday, how I can show you exactly how to lose 16 pounds weight loss or 6% body fat loss in 6 weeks. I'm going to show you how we do that too. So will we get started? Because I think we need to. Okay, so let's talk about the 7-day carb cycle formula. So what we learned yesterday, and I just want to make sure I've got this up. There we go. No, it's here. Okay. What we learned yesterday was that when it comes to eating and training, you need to have 2 different modes, or there's 2 different modes when it comes to building lean muscle versus burning fat. We also learned yesterday that you can't tone a muscle and that you can't spot reduce fat. Don't know if that was clear, so I'm going to say it again. You can't spot reduce fat. What does that mean? Don't like your bingo wings? You can't do arm exercises to get rid of the bingo wings, right? What you can do is do arm exercises that increases the muscle in that arm, right? And also full body exercises and fat burning exercises that burn the fat all over the body and include your arm. Okay, so you can't say, which would be lovely if you could put in a request, please body fat exercise, please burn the muscle specifically under my under my arm, right? Or please exercise, please burn the fat around my midsection. No, that's not the way it comes. So you can't spot reduce fat, but you can, spot train a body part. So you can train the muscle of a tricep, you can train the muscle of your legs or your thighs, but you can't ask it to reduce the fat there. It comes off all of the body, right? It's a layer of fat, right? So where does it come off first? And because that's always a question I get asked. So it really does depend. It's a genetics thing, right? So it depends on your natural body shape, whether you're more of a pear or an apple or a banana. That's a general indication. Also, if you're like an ectomorph, endomorph, or a mesomorph, which is also another indicator of how you hold on to body fat and general shapes of people. But the rule of thumb can be, a big generalization here, where it went on will be the last place it went on will be the last place it comes off. Now, for me personally, the way that we eat and train, I find that although I'm a natural apple, which means I carry my weight around my midsection, when I do eat and train in this way, it comes off my midsection. Generally comes off here first, chin, which is nice, arms, across the shoulders, collarbones, which we notice first. Then it would come off my my midsection and then off the other places. Generally we find for ladies who are pear-shaped, you might notice it come off here first. The legs tend to be the last, and then it's just tightening up the midsection. With apples, it can come off there pretty quickly, but you won't get really lean there to the very last minute, right? It's the last thing to come off, really. So that's just a wee indicator. So we help you with this in terms of tracking progress and what to look out for. Of course, in all of our programs, because we're all about tracking progress and exactly what was said in terms of consistent victories, consistent progress, small little milestones that you can measure every single week, right? Yeah, so we want to teach you that it's about building lean muscle and burning fat, and those are two different ways to eat and train, right? So a lot of the times we just do exercise because we think burning calories, right? Just need to burn calories. But that's the same thing as calories in, calories out, and what we talked about yesterday, which is a diet, right? Calories in, calories out is a diet. That eating less and moving more concept does not work for women over 35. It worked in your 20s because you could literally just go, I'm feeling like I'm a little bit pudgy, I'll go for a run, or I'll just eat less crap. And before you know it, you're pulled back in again. But when you hit post 35, because of the hormones having a real big effect, but mostly because of your stress levels and the fact that your body has undergone decades of whatever that is that we want to say, right? Your body's in a stressed mode, and stress is a very delicate balance that you need to look at. And that's why you need to increase your base metabolic rate first and foremost, which is building lean muscle, but also for those amazing health benefits, right? Strength training will save your life. We mentioned that yesterday. If you want to know more about that, make sure you've watched that video. And then in terms of the eating, you need to balance out your hormones with the eating. You need to look at gut health. This is really important. And you need to be able to reduce the inflammation in the body, but also eat the right macros to build the muscle. So there's different processes, right? So how we do it in our community is a way that is tested, and I'll tell you who I studied under and how we came to this conclusion and all of these things. But for example, in people whose job it is to have an amazing physique, right? So if you think about people whose job it is to have an amazing physique, you're talking about bodybuilders or physique athletes. You're talking about, celebrities, actresses. We like to call them our leading ladies and our superheroes, right? And models, for example. Generally, models are like genetically that way, they still have to work out and train, etc., but they don't train for muscle. So the other two do, right? So if we think about bodybuilders and physique athletes, of which I've studied under and understand a lot about, I've done a lot of bodybuilding in my day as well. What I understand that works as part of bodybuilding, and also what doesn't work for the average woman, I would like to say. And when I say the average woman, I'm not belittling anyone. You all are unique little snowflakes and we love you all. But it's about what is actually what you want. Most of us want to have a lean, strong, and curvy body. We want to have a strong body to be able to be awesome out there in that world, to kick ass and take names, to feel strong and empowered, to feel sexy. But we don't necessarily want to get completely ripped, right? And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's a few of you in here that really want to get totally ripped. That's okay. But generally what I have found for women is that we want, to be lean. By all means, we want to have, maybe a flat stomach or de-wobble our bits, but we're not going for, I want to stand on stage in a sparkling bikini with my six-pack looking. Actually, bikini models don't have six-packs, but that's not the goal of most people, right? So if your goal is to be lean, strong, and curvy in the warrior goddess way, then this process works. Because for bodybuilders, the process of bodybuilding is building muscle using very heavy weights. So gym machines, isolated gym machines, and really heavy weights, and up to 2 hours of cardio a day. So you're doing maybe 45 minutes of strength training. You're doing then anywhere between 30 minutes to 2 hours of cardio to get that lean, right? Now, again, average woman, the one normal, everyday, awesome, badass woman doesn't necessarily have 3 hours a day to work on their body goals, right? And that's not even including the food part and the food prep and the whatever else. So that is what I find in my experience. Also, the traditional bodybuilding method is 9 months of building and 3 months of shredding. So the 9 months of building is about you building that muscle, right? And eating and eating and eating to build the muscle, to then spend anywhere between 3 and 6 months, to be honest with you. Most of them, it's 3 to 4 months to then shred off that layer of fat. So we have what we call the building phase or the bulking phase. And even the word bulk can scare a lot of women because it does sometimes require you to get fluffy as you build. And that's not what women want. And then you are lean, but they're only that lean, and that's like 10% body fat, 12% body fat, maybe, yeah, but 10 to 12% body fat. They're only that lean for maybe 1 month of the year, right? So again, if you think about that process, suddenly you're like, oh, now that makes sense, right? When you see women that lean, they're showing you their photos that they were that lean when they last did a shred, when they last did something. They don't diet all year round. They don't stay that lean all year round. However, if you want to stay lean, right, but not bodybuilder lean, there is a way to do that, right? And this is why we call it carb cycling, and we're going to talk to you about that today. So the bulking phase also in the bodybuilding phase is where you have to think about adding, when you add strength and you add muscle, because you need to eat in addition to your calorie, we call it a calorie surplus. You need to eat more than you're burning, right? Rather than being a calorie deficit, which is when you lose weight. That can sometimes freak women out as well, right? Because if the goal is to, lose or get leaner, we assume that means that we are getting smaller and we're eating less and all of these sorts of things, because that's our diet mindset. That's how we've been culturally conditioned. When we try to ask people to eat more, which we're gonna, and if you're to eat more statically, it doesn't work so well, right? It can be quite difficult for women to get over that hump and work towards that. And then the last thing I want to say is that it is overcoming the diet mindset. So rather than you diet and exercise, we eat and we train. So we want to teach you about eating and training towards your goals rather than starving and punishing, right? So that's a really interesting shift. So let's talk about how this looks, okay? Let's talk about how this looks. So, okay, beautiful. So what was the question? Somebody had said, yes. Oh, yes, I love that comment. So I've just noticed the comment. So Nicolette had said about by calorie counting. So here's the thing. Men, it works perfectly for men. Men can literally just stop snacking and get a 6-pack. Right? It's really, really unfair. It is true. But the thing is, I like to see this as our superpower. I'm all about the superheroes over here anyway, right? But when you understand your hormones and you use them, right, as a tool, as a resource, as a source of power, then you do have a superpower, right? Understanding how estrogen works to burn fat is an amazing thing. Understanding how you can work with your progesterone and more calm and mellow times is an amazing tool, right? It helps us to tap into our creativity, helps us to tap into our natural rhythms and flows. But because we are living in a patriarchally set up world, the 9 to 5, the 24-hour cycle, all of those sorts of things, it can sometimes feel like we're having to undo a lot of our mindset stuff, right? And we are. So it's kind of cool. So, but this is why the 7-day carb cycle works really well. Even as a 20-year-old, and I'm right. Okay. There. So you want to be healthy and not wobbly. Beautiful. Love that as a goal. We're going to ask you to go back and be specific, but I love that that's what you're thinking, right? Because, it's not necessarily about being ripped, and that unless it is, and if that's the case, we can point you in the direction. That said, we've had quite a few almost 6-packs happen in our 6-week challenge because of the starting point of some of our ladies. So it's not saying that it can't happen. It can, but it's very much based on where your starting point is and what your goals are and what you're willing to work towards. I can tell you, I'm getting all of my photos coming up on Facebook recently, and it's telling me exactly when a lot of my photos were done, but there's a lot of my photos done 3 or 4 years ago where I was really, really lean. There was definite definition in my midsection. Wouldn't say there was any sort of 4 or 6 pack available because I never really wanted to get down. I was always, interestingly, you guys, and maybe Monique will have this feeling too, but if you have a starting point of being quite small or quite, I don't want to say skinny because there's connotations, but if you're somebody who's quite wee, right, or quite lean to start off with, like I was always quite small. I didn't necessarily was ripped or have always had like little pudginess around my tummy and things like that, especially after having a baby. But for me, when I went to do the shred phase, I hadn't built enough, right? I hadn't built enough muscle. I'd only been doing it for about 4 to 5 months or 6 months before I started to do the shred, right? And just so you know, you're like 4 to 5 months, Lisa, that sounds like a long time. No, in muscle building, timelines, that's not a very long time. So when I did go to shred off the fat, I felt like I was getting very wee, right? And that wasn't my goal. My goal was always that I wanted to look and feel strong, right? So for me, I wanted to have the muscles, but I also wanted to have that shape. Now, like I was looking at myself today, as you do when you're getting dressed, and because I'm so built up here, my shoulders and my arms and my legs, I would love to see what I would look like shredded, but I just don't know if I have the motivation to do that because I know what it takes, right? I know what those I think it was like 6 to 9 weeks of, shredding, which these ladies are doing in their phase 4 as our Sexy Strong program. But I know what that takes, and you need to be in a good mindset, ready to do a shred, right? So it all comes down to what you want, right? It all comes down to what you want. So yeah. Yes, building for 12 months, shredding for 3 for a photo shoot and repeat. That's what the bodybuilder community does. So again, if that's what your goals are, that's wonderful. You can work towards that. Personally, it's not the way I like to do things. I like to keep things ticking along and lean, but if I need to lean back in, I have the tools to do that. And that's what you're going to do here. Brio is getting very ripped now. She is. I can't wait to see how she's going to look. 4 more weeks, 3.5 more weeks for our phase 4 ladies. Cannot wait. 12 months of our program. It's going to be amazing. Okay, so what I want to show you then is the 7-day carb cycle formula. So the 7-day carb cycle formula is simply a eating protocol or a protocol, right? It's not a diet. So somebody said to me the other day, is this just not another diet? It's not a diet because it doesn't have what I think a diet has, which is restriction and deprivation, right? There's no those sense of words. There's very much a lot of eating going on, and there's a lot of nourishing going on, and there is some elimination going on, and there is some pull back and eat more. But I like to think of it as an eating protocol, but also as a flow. It's a cycle, right? And that's why it works so well for women. So let me show it to you. I got it here. Oh, look at that. So the 7-day carb cycle formula is a 7-day eating protocol specifically designed for women to match their eating with their exercise, but to also manipulate some macronutrients and calories throughout your week so that you can benefit from the metabolism boosting effects of food, right? Of eating, right? So it's sometimes you're pulling back because you want to be in a calorie deficit to lose the fat and lose the weight. Sometimes you're in a calorie surplus to build the muscle, to give the muscle what the muscle needs, right? And also to kickstart metabolisms. It's really, there's some amazing information about how eating affects your muscle, but also how it boosts your metabolism, okay? And also for you to tap into the power of fasting and also to understand when and where carbs become an important thing, okay? So this is what it is. So I'm going to teach you each of these days. So you've got, let me save my finger. Oh, look at this. Look how I did that. So here we've got low carb, right? So low carb, reg cal, low carb, reg cal, low cal, feast and fast. So there's 5 different types of days. So let me take you through the 5 days. I'll put this back up, but that's annoying. So you've got Okay, so you've got the low carb, low cal, feast, fast, and red cal. Okay, so low carb day is, so let's start with red cal because it's actually your best one. So red cal, it depends. In the 6-week Transformation Unicorn Challenge, because we determine this for you, and because you're doing a fat loss and weight loss focus in those first 6 weeks, your red cal is still in a calorie deficit. Okay, so what it means by that is normally red cal in our community is your TD calculation or just below your TD calculation. What the hell is a TD? Let me tell you, it's your total daily energy expenditure. It is the scientific way for you to get a benchmark measurement of how many calories you need to consume to function. Okay, to function well. So this is for you to function, for all of your organs to function, for you to do the workouts that you're doing, for you to be active in the way that you are based on your height, weight, and your current percentage body fat. And that gives us a benchmark, right, to be able to then work out your calories to be in surplus and to work out your calories to be in deficit. So when you are in deficit, you lose weight. When you are in surplus, you can build muscle or you can put on weight, right? Depending on what the process is, okay? So some people want to put on weight, that's okay. But most of us go into a calorie surplus to build muscle, okay? You also can't build muscle without putting on weight because muscle is heavy, right? It's not as much as you think. It's not suddenly like tomorrow, if I start eating in this way, I'm going to put on a kilo. You probably add about a pound per month of muscle, unless you are, well, it depends. Again, for ectomorphs, for me to put on even a pound of muscle in a month is a pretty good measurement. But for mesomorphs and even endomorphs, which are different body shapes, you could put on a little bit more than that in a month, right? Because your body puts on muscle more easy. Okay, so it depends on the type of body shape. We can give you, feedback and ideas, and that's that realistic expectation thing that we talked about on Monday, right? So where was I? So low carb. So red cal is your baseline, right? So in our 6-week challenge, it's your baseline. And it's in slight calorie deficit, right? Generally across our communities, unless you're somebody who needs to eat more. Also, it gives you the benchline, right? So it has a roughly, depending on where you are in our community, a macro split of 40-30-30, which is 40% carbs, 30% protein, and 30% fats, roughly, okay? We use 2 different tools in our communities to measure that. And the first 6 weeks, if you are not following our meal plan, which just tells you exactly what to do, which is kind of nice, right? You can use what we call our rule of thumb serving simplifier, where you use portion control measurements of your hands, because that is the most, believe it or not, it's actually a really interesting tool and a way for you to measure the food so that you can learn to eyeball your portions, but also your fist size is perfectly proportioned for you, whereas somebody else's fist size is different, right? So that's how that works really well. So that's how we work out our red cal day. From there, we then go low carb. So low carb has the same amount of calories as a red cal day, but only 50 grams of net carbs. So to give you an idea what that looks like, a banana is about 20 grams of carbs. So you ain't eating any fruit and not eating any starchy carbs on that day, okay? So you can have lots and lots of fibrous veggies. We pile high our plates with green leafy veg, but you're focusing on getting your fuel from proteins and fats. So and we also look after our vegan and plant-based friends on those days with really cool recipes focusing on things. So there are ways to do that. Yep. Then you have low cal, which is 25% less calories than red cal, but with the same split. Then you have feast day. Welcome to feast day, ladies. Feast day is 50% more calories with the same split. So on that day, you're eating 50% more calories. I got to tell you, ladies, right, that most women find feast day one of the hardest days. You would think that they find fast day the hardest day. No. It's the feast day, right? The feast day, because we're not used to eating so much. We're just not used to eating because we've been told eating is bad. We're really busy. We don't necessarily plan it out. All of this sort of stuff. It's a really interesting experiment in your body to work out how you feel about eating, right? Some of us really enjoy eating, some of us not so much because of either digestive issues or all of the baggagey stuff that we're bringing with us. But boy, is this a good way for you to try to learn how to do it. So feast day is not a cheat day. It's not a treat. It can involve a treat, right? So more often than not in our community, we do that still with healthy treats. So we've got like sweet potato brownies, we've got peanut butter balls, we've got chocolate protein puddings, we've got, those are the best ones, right? I can't think of anything else in the 6-week one. And you would be adding more fruit to your day. You'd be adding more oats in your smoothies and things like that. You might be having second breakfast. So you've got first breakfast and second breakfast. I love me some second breakfast. So you've got that, right? So it's really about you learning to eat, learning how to eat and to boost that metabolism, fuel your body ready for fast day. So fast day is a 24-hour fast. Now, don't freak out. Don't freak out. The 24-hour fast starts from the last meal you had the night before. So if you ate your dinner around 8 or 9 o'clock or something around that, or you had last snack or supper or whatever at 8 or 9 o'clock, the clock starts ticking from there and you try to go all the way around. We generally recommend that once a month you do a full 24-hour fast, but if you aren't able to do that for that long, then you can break your fast earlier with a green goddess Prudy, and then you can turn that into a low-cal day. So you could eat another meal, eat at least one other meal. What we would say is if you're continuing to eat another meal from the low-cal day menu, that you choose things like the soups or the stir fries or very low-calorie things so that you can still be eating, but you're not adding too many calories, because the fast day is there with the low-cal day to pull back on your calories, which ultimately is helping to kickstart that fat loss. So the red cal days and are all about the building. So they're going to give you all of the yummy carbs, all of those yummy protein and fats, as does the feast day. And we match those with our bigger workouts. And then low carb day is designed for fat burning specifically, right? We do our HIIT workouts on those days because you're priming your body to just lose the fat, right? And you do your HIIT workout, not eating an hour before and not eating an hour after, and that's going to turn you into a fat burning machine. The rest of the time you're trying to eat as much as possible as except fast day, right? So let me put that back up again. So generally what we do with this is that, I really like this is really cute, is we start on a Monday, Monday, and then fast day falls on a Sunday. But sometimes that doesn't work for everyone. So when you move into our phase 1 and to our Sexy Strong community, you can change and customize your own 7-day cycle. But we generally say follow something. Remember, we talked about this, just follow something for 4 to 6 weeks to get the rhythm of it, and then to figure out how you can customize it for you. But you need to follow something, one, to get the results, right? So, following our 7-day carb cycle for 4 weeks, we guarantee 10 pounds of weight loss. If you do it as part of our 6-week transformation unicorn challenge, we guarantee that if you follow it 100%, you will lose 16 pounds or 6% body fat, guaranteed. But you have to follow it 100%, right? That's the key. Some of us don't want to follow things 100%. I see you, rebels. I see you. If you're rebels, we've yet to find a rebel that's followed the meal plan, but it depends, right? It depends on whether you want the results. How much do you want the results? Not to mention, how much do you want to be a unicorn? How much do you want to have your money refunded? That's how we work with that one. But some of us are like, 70% or 80% adherent, following it. That's okay. Guess what? You'll still make amazing results. You'll get 9 pounds, 10 pounds, 11 pounds of weight loss, or lose 3, 4, 5% body fat, right? So it's that expectation thing. So somebody had said, what can I expect to lose in 6 weeks? The answer is, how much effort are you willing to put in? What percentage of adherence and accuracy are you willing to give is going to determine that. So if you are, going to really go for it for 6 weeks, and you're going to give it about 80% accuracy, then you're likely to lose about 12 pounds. We've seen that happen. If you're going to do it for 6 weeks, going to give it 100% adherency, you will definitely lose a minimum of 16. Some people go on to lose 18, 19 pounds, right? So that's your decision. That's how you're going to do it. And you just have to figure out what works for you, right? So let me go back. I'm sure there's comments. So that's the 7-day carb cycle formula. Any questions on that? Yay! Okay, beautiful. I know you're a rebel, Rosa. I actually thought you might have been a questioner, but you're a rebel. Okay, beautiful, Trisha. I'm going to tell you all about that. What if you don't want to lose weight? In my experience, this program works for, I had someone, for example, I'm going to put her question up. Okay. I had someone who did this, and what we would do is switch a few things. We would not get you fasting. We would turn that into a second low cal day. But what women really want, right? Just going to tell you what you want, because I hear it all the time. We want to build lean muscle and stay lean, right? So we want to be able to build the muscle without having to do that bulking phase where you're worried about adding weight. Okay, so you want to build while staying lean. This is the only way that I know that works for that, right? Because you've got building days built into your 7-day cycle, and you're doing it where some days are still in a calorie deficit, or you're looking at food timing, which is what this officially is in terms of timing when to consume carbs or your proteins and fats, etc., right? So in my experience, if you are someone who wants to maintain, we would just adapt that 7-day carb cycle a little bit. What that would mean is I wouldn't get you to do a fast day. I would add that as an extra low cal day. And I would, yeah, that's what I would do. Still keep your feast day, because I really want you to eat and do a big workout on feast day, but I would just switch that out for a low cal day. And believe it or not, that's a good building stone. I wouldn't want somebody coming into our programs with a bulking focus straight off the bat, right? Because our mindsets aren't ready for that. They're just not ready for it, right? It even is, we've got a whole big contingent coming through our phase 1 now as our Sexy Strong program. So the Sexy Strong program ladies, like Holly, if she's still on, and a few of the others, they've just done the 6-week challenge. They're now moving into phase 1, where they're able to customize and start to get really accurate with tracking what they're eating. And this focus in phase 1 is not about weight loss. It's not about fat loss, though it may happen. It's about building solid foundations and trying to get us out of our head mentality of the diet mindset and weight loss and all of that sort of stuff. Because what we're actually focusing on is building really solid foundations in your workouts so that you can build the strength and all those stabilizing muscles, and you've got built up muscle memory of how to do certain workouts. You're strengthening your core. You're also strengthening your habits and your consistency. So it's very much a little small victories, milestones section where you just want to work on your daily habits. But the problem with that is that we're trying to undo the fat loss, weight loss mindset. Although you may still lose fat. In fact, there's a lot of body shape change that goes on phase 1, but the ladies who are in phase 4 will tell you they maybe only lost 2 or 3 pounds in the whole 90 days, but yet their bodies massively changed. So this is where it becomes a lot of mindset stuff and accountability stuff and trying to help you to make that transition. So fasting, you still drink liquids. Yes, you can have as much herbal tea as you like. You can have bone broth or miso when you break your fast. You can have black coffee, though not hundreds and hundreds of it. If you're a coffee drinker, and I'm glad Rose is on here, because we always have this debate, because I'm a tea drinker and Rose is a coffee drinker. Now, I don't take coffee away from women, because God forbid you should take coffee away from anyone. That's also like taking gin away from people. Or if somebody said to me, right, to do this program, you couldn't drink tea anymore, I would punch them in the face. I literally would, right? Because we have our little things that bring us joy. The way that I say with regards to caffeine and tea and those sorts of things is, if it brings you joy, don't get rid of it. If it is causing you to use it as a crutch or as a dependency, and some of us are codependent on our coffees, ladies, come on, we need to be honest, then it's about reducing it, or doing it with the biggest ritual of awesomeness ever. So I always say, if you're going to do something, like for me, when I go to Starbucks, I still drink a tea. I love my Starbucks, if you've ever seen me on Instagram. But the reason why I love it is not because it's Starbucks and it's amazing or whatever. It is a little ritual for me to match. Like, I do a workout, I get my cup of tea, right? It's not a reward. It's just I've left the house. This is what I'm doing. This is my 2 habits that I'm matching together to make sure that I get the workout done, type of thing. But it brings me such joy and comfort that I love it. But I only have one, and I maybe only have Starbucks 3 times a week, type of thing, right? So with regards to your coffee, we always say, rather than using coffee as a crutch or as a badge of honor to wear, have the best goddamn coffee ever. Like, go and get the best organic one, get a really cool machine to make it. When you're drinking it, look outside to the beautiful weather. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, really revel in the enjoyment of it, because it is a little bit of magic in your day. It shouldn't be there as a, you know, I can't get through the day without my coffee type of thing. That's my general thoughts about coffee. Yes. So, and you can have as much liquids, as much water as you like. Herbal teas, you can have as much as like. Bone broth, where what I would generally say with the fast is, you know, go as long as you can, and then you're breaking it with the green goddess Prudy, but you can also then continue to have some bone broth or some miso soup for my vegan ladies, plant-based ladies, you know, in on that day, right? And then if you're really hungry, you can continue to eat. The fast day, in my experience, for me, was one of the easiest ones, because I'm not somebody who is hungry and has issues with hunger. Hunger feels good for me in my body. It's very weird. But I heard that there's a lot of people that enjoy that too. And this is a muscle. Fasting is a muscle, just like anything else. So you wouldn't fast on certain days in your menstrual cycle. You will only probably work up to 1 24-hour fast in the 4 weeks. You're going to stretch that muscle, and you're going to work that muscle to practice and feel what it feels like, whilst tapping into the amazing benefits of the 24-hour fast. But again, as with all of this, it's a process of testing this in your little experimental laboratory, right? Seeing how your body responds to fast, seeing how your mind responds to fasting. You know, is it something that works for you? What we tend to find is, if you're somebody who gets up really, really early, fasting doesn't work, right? So if you're somebody, even on your fast day, which generally falls on a weekend, if you have to get up because of kids and stuff, it can be really hard to fast beyond like 12 o'clock. So, but even getting to 12 o'clock, that's your milestone. But if you start to know that about you, then what we would do is look at turning that into a low cal day on the regular, and maybe switching your feast day to a reg cal day or something like that, right? There's ways to work around it. But it is, you know, it's an amazing tool for fat loss, but it's also an amazing tool to kickstart your growth hormone. So growth hormone is kickstarted during fasting. It's also really good for helping you with your glycogen stores. It's also really good for, and what I mean by growth hormone, for building lean muscle. It can actually be a really cool thing. But we wouldn't do it forever, right? Unless you want to. Personally, I have been doing a 1-day fast for a very long time, but I go through peaks and troughs. Like, I did do a 1-day fast there, actually. I did what I call a full day fast. So I would fast maybe through until about 6 or 7, and then I would break my fast with some food, and I would generally just have one meal on that day and maybe a Prudy, and that's it, right? So you'll learn to work with what your body is, but you have to start with something. These are just guidelines for you to test, see how they feel, and to get you the results. Yeah. Incredible for my digestion too, says Rosa, right? Bobby loves the fast day. She says, it's wonderful for me. Some people like it. Oh, I put it up twice. I was trying to put Bobby there. Yeah. Yes, and Rosa says, I'm obsessed with coffee. I'm glad you're here, Rosa. And I think, actually, Brio, you're a coffee person too, right? We have a Puckatee sub-community here in the tribe. We really do. I think it's because I'm sponsored by Puckatee. But you know what's interesting, as I don't like to call myself a fitness professional, a wellness professional. With every product that you see me talk about, right? I have never been approached by somebody that a product that I haven't used and wouldn't talk about. So for example, I post up about my puck of tea all the time because I'm obsessed with tea. I am a little bit obsessed. But also I'm an obsessive person. So when I like something, I like everything. Like that's like me with unicorns and me with superheroes and Wonder Woman and me with tea, right? And mugs. Mugs is another big one, she says, with her hot water and lemon one. And do I only ever drink my hot water and lemon out of that? No, I'm a little bit more relaxed with that. But then Pocket saw that I was posting a lot on my Instagram and they offered me free tea. So they do offer me free tea quite regularly, which is nice. They're actually going to send me a new product that I'm going to talk to you guys about. But we also love other herbal teas as well. So that's what I think is important, is understanding where we come from for that. And then, yeah, Brio's on the coffee things. So will you get withdrawal symptoms from reducing your coffee? Yes, this is why we don't get you to reduce your coffee. We don't get you to go 100% cold turkey, right? Because here's the thing, ladies, I don't want you to feel miserable. A miserable, headachy, grumpy you is not going to stick to something, right? Like, why do women think we have to martyr ourselves? Like the amount of people that I have talked to on a keto diet that are like, yeah, well, the first 2 weeks, I just had really bad headaches and my digestion was all over the place. But I was told that that's kind of normal and I should just push through. And here's the thing about that. Yes, there are detox symptoms and sometimes you do need to understand them and push through them and all of this sort of stuff. But if it's making you miserable and it's 2 solid weeks of it, why the hell would you stick with it, right? So there's sometimes that detox symptoms are just your body's way of getting rid of stuff, right? So if you pull back on caffeine, you may notice that. If you go 100% cold turkey, if you're somebody who drinks 3 to 4 cups of coffee a day, and I'm saying don't drink coffee again, you will have headaches and you will feel like crap. Why would you do that to yourself? No. So what we definitely suggest, and as part of our prep week, we do suggest for our 6-week transformation unicorn challenge, we suggest that you do eliminate certain things in your diet, because what we're trying to do is heal you. When you go through that process, sometimes you feel a little bit meh, right? So you might feel a bit, bubbly in the tummy. You might feel a little bit low energy, etc. So it comes down to 2 things. Are you ill, or are you detoxing? Are you miserable about it, or are you just okay? Well, you know what? I feel these feelings. I'm going to push through and see what happens. Or this is also your body's way of working out what your body likes and doesn't like, and that's something to pay attention to, right? So again, it becomes about a process for you to work things out. But personally, what we've always found with ladies who have gone through the process, some people who would have come into this process with IBS, I had IBS for years because I don't consume gluten and dairy, and I don't really have that much alcohol, and the sugar that I consume, and I do still consume sugar, is through dark chocolate, or I make myself up little cacao balls or little bowls or things like that. And I don't drink a lot of alcohol. So I really pull back on my sugary things, or the alcohol that I do consume is low sugar, right? So I tend to choose things like, I don't have a lot of wine. I can't drink wine. I can't drink beer, but I can have gin and tonic, right? So it's understanding what your body likes and dislikes, but you have to go through the process and be mindful and be in the process to figure these things out. So the answer, will you get withdrawal symptoms? You might, right? But I don't want you to feel crap. So we'll work around it. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, no pain, no gain is not a way to live, right? It's also very patriarchal. It's very myopic and very kind of like, yeah, right? It's not the way that we are. We're warrior goddesses. Yes, we have the warrior part to us, which is the wanting to be strong, wanting to be protective, wanting to be badass, etc. But the goddess part is the nurturing, the loving, the accepting, the being, right? And that's really important. So we're both, right? We're not just one or the other or tipped over. We want to bring both of those energies in with us. Okay, I want to teach you now. Oh yeah, Manuka honey. Yeah, very expensive, but really cool for you. So now, ladies, I have a question for you. Let me make sure this is ready to get the technology in place. So how do I do that? push the button. Share screen. Share screen. Here it is. So the question I have for you is this. Would you like me to teach you exactly what you need to do every day to lose 16 pounds or 6% body fat in just 6 weeks? So here we go. Okay. So remember why you are here. So at the very beginning of your journey with us, right? You had come in with different reasons, right? You were never really able to stick with something before. You maybe used to be in great shape and you're maybe still trying to be. You felt confused or frustrated on it not working. You're maybe in a new stage of life in terms of your hormones, in terms of what's going on at home or your career. Sometimes you feel like time is running out. Or you have people in your life that need you to be the best version of you. Like you want to feel sexy strong, not just for your partner, but also you want to be the role model to your family. You want to have a strong immune system. You want to be kicking ass and taking names, even in your 90s and turning 100, right? So these are the different motivations that maybe have brought you here. And maybe you see yourself in that. So the way that I see it, you have two options. So you don't take action to follow a proven plan, okay? You don't take action to follow a proven plan. You continue to spin your wheels on free workouts and food guilt, and you're at the same place next month or next Monday or even maybe next year, right? Or you take the leap of faith that you know will work to get you into the best shape yet from the safety and comfort of your home with a proven program and roadmap for women just like you to get you there. So you're invited. This is what we're going to teach you about. What is the 6-week transformation unicorn challenge? And why is the unicorn important? So the Warrior Goddess Body 6-week transformation challenge is the only wellness program focused on body shape change of its kind, designed for women over 40 or over 35, pretty much, that not only shows you exactly how to train to get strong, lean, and stay injury-free without spending hours in the gym, but how to eat for boundless energy, reducing your expanding midsection, and saying goodbye to food guilt forever. Okay, so what is it and how does it work? So we're going to take you through this now. Okay, so the answer to overwhelm. So a lot of the time how we teach what we teach differently because of the way that I learn, right? And also the way that I've seen with regards to women is that women don't necessarily take their body shape change journeys and goals as serious as they would their career goals, right? So suddenly, thinking about doing an online program or an online course where we're teaching you how to eat and train, women are like, wow, well, this is a lot of information. That's a lot of learning. I don't like school. I don't like numbers. I don't like any of those sorts of things. And I get that. Totally understand that. However, that's the reason why you probably haven't been successful previously, because you didn't really understand how all of this works. So I'm not asking you to be a personal trainer or a nutritionist, but we are trying to teach you and help, give you the knowledge that you need to turn that into wisdom for you to be able to act on that on a regular basis, right? So you do need to educate yourself. And this is how we do this. We do this with an online program that is an online course. It's actually a course, but you're doing the course and experiencing the course to get the results at the same time. And that's what makes it magical, right? So you're learning the information, but more importantly, you're implementing it, you're applying it, you're doing it, and therefore you are getting the results. And that's why what we do is different. So a lot of the time, you'll maybe just get a PDF that says, eat this, do this, and away you go. And that doesn't work for us, in my experience. However, there's also a thing called overwhelm. So women tend to overwhelm themselves a lot, especially when they start to see that they need to take action and learn information to implement it. We also have a big, massive fear of failure, and we also have big, massive procrastination and perfectionist issues. Because we're women, right? That's how we've been culturally told that we need to be perfect and it needs to be right and it needs to be exact and how dare I even fail and all of these sorts of things. The thing is, right, failing is what's going to happen. You are going to fail a lot because You've never done this before in this way. If you were to look at our little toddler that we've been talking about all week, and each time he stood up, he fell over again, you're not going to shout at him to go, why can't you stand up? Right? You know, he hasn't learned how to stand up yet. And in this case, you guys haven't learned how to follow this process yet. So there is no perfect. There is no, you know, doing it right, doing it correctly, doing it whatever per se. There's accuracy. We call it accuracy because accuracy is different. So we help you to overcome this overwhelm by following a step by step by step formula. And when I mean step by step by step formula, it literally says step 1, step 2, step 3, right? It also has guides where it says on this day, this is what you should be doing. And on this day, this is what you should, you know, what your eating and training plan is, etc. Right? So we literally cover all of those bases. So if you follow it, you will be successful, hands down. Right? It just becomes about you following it and you taking the time out of your day to do it. Our prep week is a full 7 days to work through the 6 steps in our digital studio. We call it a digital studio. It's our members area. It's an online program. You get the information, and if you work through and dedicate 1 hour per day in that prep week, you'll get everything done. Now, 1 hour per day is the golden rule for this whole entire program. 1 hour of self-care per day. Eventually, it starts off with being your prep week work. Eventually, then it'll turn into a workout and your eating. Sometimes it'll turn into meal prepping, etc. Sometimes it will turn into self-care. But if you dedicate at least 1 hour per day, you will be able to be successful. So it could include that 1 hour a day will include your workout at some point, right? Some days where you're not doing a workout, that will include you doing your meal planning and meal prepping, right? Okay, so prep week is how we help you with that. And then you have 5 weeks of this program. The 4 weeks are what we call our 28-day Warrior Goddess Body program, where we take you through 3 to 5 workouts a week, starting at 4 minutes. Then we build you up to 6 to 8 minutes. Then we build you up to 10 to 20 minutes. Then on week 5, which is your graduation week, we give you some sample graduation VIP workouts for you to try, which are our lean, strong, and curvy workouts. So we're building you, assuming nothing from where you're at in terms of your fitness or your strength or your kettlebell experience, etc. And we take you step by step by step through that. If you have a little bit more experience, we put you in the category of swinger. No judgment, ladies. So you're either a beginner or a swinger. If you're a swinger, right, then you've got a little bit more of a more intense workout, slightly, okay? Slightly longer, slightly more intense workout, because we know that you're at that level, okay? If you want to know and get advice on that, we will let you know. But again, it comes down to your choice. So for you rebels out there, you've got all the choice that you need, okay? So then you've got, so basically this is 15 hours of group personal training and 42 days of customized eating plans. So we have an eating plan, an actual menu plan. Eat this, do this, literally pull up this PDF, follow it. And then also we have, for those rebels or people who don't want to follow the meal plan, that we have the rule of thumb serving simplifier. What I'm going to say about that is, if you want to go for unicorn status, the only way that I know how to do that is through your following the meal plan 100%. We have yet to have a unicorn who went rule of thumb, just saying. Okay, so the 6-week transformation challenge, what is it? You get a meal plan. We've told you that. Recipe book with online recipes, eating guidelines, and that 7-day carb cycle, right? That includes yummy foods like curries and burgers. And I mean, the food is amazing. We get the feedback that the food is absolutely awesome, right? Then you're going to work up to 5 30-minute sessions a week, but you're going to start with just 3, and they start with 4 minutes, okay? We work you up slowly throughout this. You've got that online community support 24/7, all of these coaches in that group answering your questions. And when we say 24/7, we're 24/7. We're now in 3 different time zones. We have 3 coaches in 3 different time zones. So we've always got somebody there to answer your questions, but we also have a full Q&A vault. So if there's not somebody to answer, you can go into our Q&A vault, type in a question that you have, and the answer will be there. Literally, we've got you covered. And then we've got that step-by-step system that's easy to follow to educate and empower you with the knowledge and information. So you get that step-by-step plan, the weekly Q&A. I go live every single week like we're doing here on a Monday at 2 p.m. BST, same time. You've got your team of coaches in there, and we're daily in that Facebook group, writing messages, letting you know, helping and responding to you. But the most exciting thing about the 6-week Transformation Unicorn Challenge is the unicorns. Oh, I should have had my unicorn cup here today. See, told you I love of mugs. So a unicorn is how to get it for free, right? So a unicorn is someone who achieves either 16 pounds of weight loss or 6% body fat loss, right? Can get a refund of their investment. So for those wanting guaranteed results, who are a little bit more competitive, who are looking for a goal to drive them forward, this is for you guys, right? So how you do that, there's a unicorn pack that you have to submit. Yes, it's a pack. There's a questionnaire. There is like a little bit of, we make you jump through hoops a little bit, ladies, right? I'm not going to lie about that, because we want you to be successful, but we want you to be very clear about what the expectations of you are, but also it's about accuracy. So we want you to learn how to be totally accurate. So you get the body of your dreams, something that money can't buy, and you get it for free, right? So, personal trainers cost at least $30 an hour. Our coaches are going to be $50 an hour at least, right? Or more. They're about $100 an hour if you want to have any one-to-one with us, really. Nutritional costs, some advisors are at least $40, right? Again, if you want our coaches, they're going to be closer to $100 an hour. You get a month customized written training plan. You get all of these sorts of stuff. Literally, this is worth thousands of dollars, but it's not going to cost you thousands of dollars. But the cost of not acting today is literally the same thing. So what is the cost of that? Time spent spinning your wheels, trying to download free workouts, keeping your fingers crossed that they work, starting again this Monday, only to fall off by Wednesday and lie to yourself that it wasn't really that important, right? This is the one that I used to do, by the way, spending like hundreds of pounds of a fridge full of healthy food on a Monday, only for that other you know who she is, to let it just rot in the back of the fridge and then the drawers and just eat crisps and toast. Anyone? Choosing to buy those new shoes or floaty top instead to build your confidence, but only still to feel those feelings of, why can't I make this work for me, right? All those takeaways, those processed meals, all just to make you feel better, but you really just helping you to feel more out of control. Every one of our goddesses and unicorns always say that they wish they'd made the decision sooner, to start sooner, to act fast, right? And didn't put it off time and again. So you can get started today. So prep week starts Monday, the 7th of June, but you can get started today with this link. I'm going to put the link, or if Brio can plop the link into the comments, ladies. It's either one payment of $197 or two payments of $98.50, but I'm going to tell you the difference between those. And we're going to give a special bonus for anybody who signs up while we are live. So first of all, pay in full goddesses save. So obviously you save, right? So what you can do is upgrade. So the option when you pay in full, you can also upgrade where you don't have to pay anything now. You can commit to our VIP straight after that 6 weeks for only $77 a month. Okay, so you don't have to pay anything. You just commit to it. It's a separate little page after you've signed up, and you can get it for $77 a month instead of $97, right? And you can get it for just 3 months. When you do choose to continue to stay with us, and 80% of ladies do choose to continue to stay after their initial 6 weeks, you're getting it at the best rate. You're getting it with all of the bonuses of being a paid in full member, and you can get it for just 90 days, right? The rest of them have to either commit to 6 months or 12 months, and it costs more. It's $97 that way, right? So you're going to be saving, and you don't need to pay anything now. You just need to know that that 90-day program is committed to, and that you can pay it off monthly, right? So it's not a membership that can be canceled. It's a commitment to a dedicated program. Yeah. Also, the pay in full goddesses win. So if you do want to go for unicorn status, you've got to pay in full, that $197, and it becomes a refundable deposit. But you could also use that refundable deposit against the membership, which we've had ladies do. So one payment of $197, two payments of $98.50 if you want to spread those costs, and that's the link that you need to go to today. We'll pop it in there. Okay, so I'm going to come out of this so I can see and have, if you guys have any questions. If you sign up while we're on live today, we are going to give away, for everybody who does that, an orientation call. Okay, now we're trying to figure out what day of the week to do it, because we did it on the first day of prep week last time, and I'm not entirely sure that was the best day. So I'm going to brainstorm it, but you get a coaching call with us. So a Zoom call will answer your questions. I'm kind of thinking it might be better to do it on the Sunday evening before day one. So that could be the Sunday of prep week, at the end of prep week. I generally think that that's a better, because by that stage you'll have loads of questions, you'll want to know what's going on, etc. So I think that is your better time to do it. I'm brainstorming this out loud. But if you do sign up today, so you will get me, maybe Brio if she's available, maybe one of the other coaches, yeah? And Brio's like competitive us. So if you do want to sign up for that orientation, it'll definitely be me. I'm trying to see if any of the other coaches, I've just sprung this on them. They don't even know what's happening. We're thinking, because we did do it on the day one before, and it wasn't necessarily as beneficial as if you've got some data and some information and actual questions. But maybe on the Sunday of prep week before, we could do it on the Sunday evening for UK time. So it would be Sunday afternoon for most of you. And that means that you could come on board and we can answer your questions then and there, right? So if you've got specific questions to you, because a lot of this, you know, you might go, well, how does this apply to me? And how do I make this work? That's where we can answer that, right? So that's that orientation call. Only for anybody who signs up today while we're on here. I'll actually let it go for those watching the replay, but it has to be done today. This is Friday. So if you go on over, and Rosie, of course, you can have it because you signed up yesterday, 100%, of course. And the other thing that I'm going to give away as a prize, as an extra bonus for anybody who signs up today, and I'm also going to give it away as a freebie, and we're going to do the first giveaway today, is our 44 high protein, plant focused recipe book with scannable MyFitnessPal barcodes. We're just about to launch this as a product in our community, and we're going to be selling it at $37 US. So it is worth $37 US. What makes it worth that is mostly the scannable barcode, but also because the recipes are awesome, but you get 44 of them, okay? So it's scannable, you download it, you can literally scan them straight into MyFitnessPal and follow them, and I've already been testing some of the recipes in them, and they're freaking epic, okay? So you also get that if you sign up while we're doing this today, or by end of play today, so midnight UK time, right? So let us know. And Rosie, of course, you do that too. Okay, so Trisha, if you want to sign up, go on over to that link, sign up right now. And it doesn't matter for anybody signing up if you're going payment plan or paying full to get the bonuses, by the way. But if you want to go towards unicorn status, you need to pay in full. Right? That's very important. So if you're heading towards unicorn status, you have to pay in full to get that as an extra bonus. Also, what else did I want to say? Yeah, so what we're going to do now, right, for those of you that are on, and I said if you came on live, we're going to give away prizes. So we're going to give away our first prize, right? And I'm not sure, I'm thinking I'm going to do it by scrolling. So what I want you guys to do is throw up an emoji in the comments, right? So I'm going to go for our arm, our strong arm emoji. Throw that up in the comments. I'm going to look away and scroll and pick person, and that person will get our first giveaway, which is the 44 high protein plant-based recipe book, which is worth $37 US for free. So stick up the emoji codes. Go for it. Go, go, go. Okay. And then I'll do a little scroll. Okay. So, and I'm going to take a drink while you guys are on there. And then I'm going to look at my phone to see if anybody else has signed up, and I will happily give you a shout out. So do that. I'm scrolling. So if you did sign up, I will see it. Okay. And if you will, I'll give you 100% shout out. You will get that orientation call on the Sunday of prep week, which would be Sunday the 14th. No, 13th, I think. Okay. Keep giving us the emojis. Keep giving us the emojis. Okay. I am going to scroll now. Here we go. Got my eyes closed. Scrolling. This person. Ta-da! Lynn, you have won our 44 high protein plant-based recipe book. Very fancy. I will email that over to you today. I'll email the link and then you can download it. It's very cool. I very much enjoy it. Well done to you. Yay! And I did try some of the recipes. Oh, sorry, I'm hiding. I'm showing somebody else. There we go. You are amazing. Well done. I'll make a little note of that Lynn has won the recipe book. Okay, so any questions? I'm going to go through some questions, guys, for you, and I'm going to keep an eye on this. So anybody, it comes through on my email. If you have signed up today, I will give you a shout out. If you sign up while we're on here, you get that free orientation call. That means, just so you know, we're not talking hundreds of people on that call. There might be like 4 or 5, right? Or a small group of people. So you will get all of your questions answered. You can ask me them directly, ask any of our coaches. If I can talk them into coming, they'll give you, if you want to know how to be a unicorn, you need to listen to Brio. Brio hit unicorn status in her challenge in 4.5 weeks. Well, it wasn't even a full 5 weeks. She did it, right? Hit 16 pounds and then went on holiday at the end of her challenge. We had somebody who took a tropical island holiday on week 6 of the challenge and still became a unicorn, right? So, on average, for every 15 to 20 ladies, we get between 1 and 2 unicorns. So it does happen. It can happen, and we can teach you exactly how to do that. Yeah. So let's see if anybody else is joining us for that orientation. It may end up being like 3 people. But that's cool. Oh, here we go. I think we got one. Trisha, woohoo! Okay, Trisha, so you're joining us for that orientation call. Yay! Which I'm really excited about. We'll let you know all the details of that. You also will be getting that recipe book because we're just giving the stuff away today. I'm emailing that out for Lynn. Lynn, that's fine. Well, you got the recipe book anyway, and if you can't do it to Tuesday, that's fine. We'll hold the space for you. Come on in, and we'll do that, but you won't be able to get that bonus, okay? Unicorn is easy, says Brio. Eat what Lisa tells you to do and do what Lisa tells you to, yeah. And just so you know, Brio kind of falls into a rebel category, and she still did it. I don't know, Brio, if you did the quiz, because I think you might fall. You're a little bit like me. I have really big rebel tendencies, but I also have I can comply some of the time. So it's kind of really interesting, right? Yay, Trisha's on board. Okay, so let's answer a few questions. If you have any questions, write them in the comments, but I want to also cover them here because we tend to get them. So, yes, is this going to work for me is a big question that we tend to get asked, right? Yes, it says I'm a rebel. Okay, good. Because here was the thing that I was worried about with rebels is that they wouldn't follow the program and get the results. But I've realized is, as long as I'm not telling you to do it, as long as you see it there and you make the choice to do it, then rebels do it, right? It's very, very, very interesting. Whereas obligers, we just have to help you to do it. We have to give you that external motivation to do it and then give you bags of accountability to do it, which is what we do. Okay, we're literally there. So the question I have is this going to work for me? Will this work this time during such uncertainty, or what makes us different? So if up until now you haven't realized what makes us different, then where have you been? Have you been hiding under a rock? But the reason why it's going to work for you this time is that, one, we put our money where our mouth is in terms of guaranteeing it, but if you follow it, it will work. And then we do our utmost to help you to follow it. That's it. So when we say, we are in that Facebook community answering questions, being there for you, we are. It's not just, lip service. We literally are there answering the questions, making sure that you actually follow through. And it's about accountability. So there will be, commitment from you on a daily basis to write what you're eating and doing a Dear Diary type of thing, which is really there to help you, to give you accountability. That's what that's for. Okay. We've totally got you covered for sure. Why isn't this free? Get asked that quite often. The reason why this isn't free, because we have given this program away as a freebies during whatever. And I've never yet had one person who's been given it free last more than 3 days. You need to feel the inconvenience of the investment, ladies, right? When you pay for something, you pay attention. And I 100% totally believe that to be true. When you're invested with your money, you're invested in the program. Also, we're running a business here, secondly, but when we charge what we're worth, we're able to then over deliver to give you the information, right? So when we charge, we are like, if you think about all of this free content that you've had for the last 5 days, if you can imagine, we go live every week in our programs, we have all of this information in a step-by-step format for you on the other side of this. So there is no way in this world that you would do it if it was for free, right? So, and we've all committed, I get it, you probably bought programs in the past and you're feeling a bit guilty or a bit off about that and it didn't work and all of that sort of thing. But I find that when you pay attention. When you invest your money, you also invest a little bit of your heart as you're handing that over to see it through. And I think that that's really, really important. Okay, I'm going to do another quick look before we do another question in case another one has come in. Okay, so next question. And by all means ask. I don't have the time as I am busy, etc., etc. I don't have the time. We answered that at the beginning of our challenge, which was very much dedicating 1 hour per day, right? 1 hour per day for you. Now, that might even freak you out. You might go, oh my God, 1 hour per day. But what we'll also do is help you realize that some of the other hours and stuff that you're doing, that you're spending, that's not serving you, could be channeled into that. So it's not one additional hour. It's stuff that you're doing that's not working that we can go, right, well, if you do this as part of that hour, it will work. It will get you results. You'll stay motivated. You'll have more energy to actually do it, right? So we can totally do that. Okay. Next one, how strict do I have to be? I get this one a lot, right? We don't like to say strict so much as either committed or accurate, right? We mentioned this before. If you're going to follow the plan 80%, you'll get 80% of the results. And that's fine. If you follow it 100%, you will get 100% of the results and become a unicorn and get your money back. That's how you think about it. When you also start to realize that you're not restricting yourself, you're eating more than you probably even eaten more before. When you're doing workouts that are really short and don't take up a lot of time, and you start to see the results, it doesn't feel strict, right? It feels exciting, if anything. Okay, next one. I'm a fussy eater or a big foodie, and I don't want to give up foods or feel restricted with my foods. So we have you covered if you are a meat eater, if you are a vegetarian, or if you are a vegan, right? The foods that we choose are chosen specifically for their macronutrient content, but also for their micronutrient content to help you to increase your fiber with green leafy vegetables, a lot of live food, a lot of whole foods, etc. And the food is really, really, really tasty. We get loads of feedback that the food's really tasty. There are some ingredients on our list that people are like, what the heck even is that? So we can let you know if it's optional or not. We give you shopping lists, so you can literally take the shopping list and go check your cupboards and then go, what do I need? And we can also give you feedback that if you're tight with your budget, whether something is optional or not, okay? But what you'll find is that eating in this way, because you're eating and you're prepping and you're storing, means that you don't have to do a lot of work. We're teaching you how to meal plan and meal prep a little bit, but it takes all of the guesswork out, right? But it's really tasty. That said, if you don't like broccoli, eggs, fish, hummus, for example, you can either choose to leave some of those parts out, or you can swap meals out with a green goddess Prudy, or you can choose a different, so you don't eat the meat eaters that day, you can eat vegetarian or vegan. So we've got you covered if you don't like certain things. Have you worked with a lot of 60-year-olds? Yes, we have. I'm trying to think who we have in our community. We have 2 60-year-olds in our community. one nearly 60 and one in her 60s. So we've 2 right now in our community. On average, I would get 1 per every 6-week challenge that we do, 1 or 2 of them. What works really well with this is that we have the options for you to do things like resistance band workouts if you don't want to do the kettlebell workouts. Because our kettlebell workouts are very simple, very short, it works really well for ladies in their 60s, in my experience, right? It's nothing complicated. You can avoid, so there are complicated workouts for those that like complicated workouts, right? So there is, and again, for our rebels that enjoy the choice point between, well, I want to do that, right? But what we find is that with the bodyweight HIIT style workouts that we did, the yoga HIIT one, with our resistance band as an alternative and our basic straightforward kettlebell workouts, you're only doing 10-20 minute workouts with moderate weights that work really well in your 60s. So we can always work around any sort of modifications. What we have found is that the ladies in their 60s are awfully feisty. So maybe you, Trisha, are awfully feisty too. And it's just then about learning how to do it and doing it so that you don't injure yourself, and working around some of the modifications. And that's kind of it. Fibromyalgia and depression. We have nearly most people who come into our community have some sort of autoimmune or potentially mental health elements, right? We've experienced that. We do ask that in a questionnaire, so we do find out the information from people. If you have fibromyalgia, you 100% need 2 things in your life. One, you need to build lean muscle, right? That the inflammation within the body that fibromyalgia can be as an autoimmune disease needs to be looked after with building strength training. It's actually been proven for fibromyalgia. And 2, plant-based foods and plant-based whole foods and plant-based whole food supplements are essential for you. Okay, so a lot of ladies say that once they've got over the initial part, because obviously you're having to learn new things, eat different ways, train in different ways, that they actually have noticed a lot of their symptoms have just gone, right? They've literally just gone and been completely minimized. But we just need to help you with its inflammation that you need to work on. Our 28-day meal plan is to reduce systemic inflammation. We're eliminating the key things that cause inflammation: sugar, alcohol, wheat or gluten, and dairy in the first 4 weeks, and pulling back on your caffeine and teaching you how to build your energy from a very sustainable daily viewpoint. And we're here. Literally, we've had so many people with fibromyalgia because, as you saw with the stats, a lot of women have them. Like 70 or 80% of those diagnosed with fibromyalgia are women. There you go, Bobby. Thank you, Bobby. So Bobby says it's very doable. She suffers from both and a host of other medical issues, and she does it. And she does it very well. Bobby is one of our most consistent ladies that turns up every day for herself and gets it done, even though she has these extra struggles. So plant-based whole food supplements, Bobby, are the ones that we encourage in our community are the Juice Plus products. You would have seen them in our supplement guide, and you'll see them in our shop. They are plant-based. So basically it's fruit, veg, and berries in a capsule form. We're going to be talking more about our whole food supplements as we go through prep week. There are supplements myself and Rosa, for example, have been taking for the last 12 years, and that's what gives me energy. We have found that with fibromyalgia, ladies get a massive response to it. So it is definitely something to look at. It's an investment in your health, but I think 100% recommend it. And oh, Brio has to go. She's got some actual work to do today. Can't wait to see you, lovely ladies. Thank you so much, Brio. So we will be talking about the plant-based whole food supplements more, but the Juice Plus products are the ones that we definitely find if you have fibromyalgia. Also, if you have inflammation, that they're definitely something. So actually, Bobby, that might be something for you to look at, that you can invest in for yourself and for your body. Yeah, for sure. Oh, okay. And Nicolette says, this is a good one. I'll pop it up. Pretty flexible myself with some expectations, but fussy hubby and children. So what we've found is that Sometimes you're just going to be eating on your own, and you're going to be eating what you're eating, and they're eating different things. And that's just the nature of it. So what we try to do then is make the food easy to make and store so that you can rely on stuff you already have stored, whether you freeze them or whether you stick them in the fridge, and meal prep them so that you might be eating something different to them. I have noticed that obviously I have a teenager. He doesn't eat anything that I eat anymore, apart from soups and apart from some of the little treat things, but and he can eat wheat and gluten and I can't. We're both vegetarian, which is fine, but we generally eat different stuff, right? So I have learned just to meal prep stuff for him differently and to meal prep stuff for me to still save myself time and effort. With regards to partners and hubbies, a lot of the ladies have talked their partners into eating in this way because the food is just so yummy. And if they are, if they, want to sit down and eat with you and things like that, they can do it. There's still a lot of these recipes that kids do like, so they can eat them. So there will be things in there that they can like and enjoy, but generally most children eat more plainly, etc. So there is going to be a little bit of trying to work around that. But I think that this is something that we need to learn to work around anyway, because we aren't always going to eat what our children eat. But if there's a way that we can meal plan, keep the costs down, and work so it's not taking us double the effort every single time, then that's what I found personally works really well. Okay. Yes, hyperthyroidism will be helped specifically by your green goddess Pruthi as well, but also because we're trying to help balance out your thyroid issues with building lean muscle, which is one of the key things, stopping you from over-exercising. Cortisol and hyperthyroidism have been linked. So the stress levels and thyroid issues, So also under-eating is a really big reason why a lot of ladies have thyroid issues. And I'm going to say and put it out there that 95% of women that I've ever met undereat. And you're probably going, no, Lisa, but I eat so much. No, you don't. Most of us have been on a perpetual diet or feel so bad about food guilt. They're constantly just looping about what they're eating that they tend to undereat a lot of the time. And nobody's on a perpetual diet, and you shouldn't be either. Okay. So, it'll be interesting to see how your hubby is going to react, Trisha. We'll work it out with them. But there's a lot of the ladies in there that, had their partners on board during the program to try these things too, and it is important to let them know that you're doing this and this is important to you, but we'll help you with that. I don't have a hubby, so I don't have anybody. I'm such a rebel, but I know that some of the ladies, that's what they've done. Yep. But I have a teenager, and that's maybe just as bad. Any other questions? Let me see what we've got. You guys already know about this. So I'm too old or have an injury or afraid I'll get injured, not very strong or fit. We covered that the other day. Not very techie. Oh, that's a good one. Okay. So ideally you want to access the information through a computer or a tablet, because the way that it's set up, you can access the information via a phone, but it can get a little bit tricky if you're just using your phone. Okay. So I'm not going to say that it is set up that it's easy to follow on a phone, but if you're working through it step by step, and then there's different documents and different PDFs and stuff like that to read. So sometimes it's easier to do it on a computer. Sometimes people like to print it out. I've had my whole thing turned into, do I offer marriage counseling? Trisha, I would be terrible at marriage counseling. I haven't managed to do it myself, let alone try to do that. But teenager counseling maybe, which maybe is the same thing, not sure. Some people have printed out binders and made things and done cute things with our program materials, but it's really up to you, right? It's really up to you how you want to move through it, and obviously the technology that you have. But we like to say that there's at least 2 of our ladies in our current community who've just done the 6-week challenge who would say that they're technologically challenged and they managed it. And that for them was one of their limiting beliefs, and they overcome that limiting belief to be able to do it. So if they can do it, you can do it too. Yeah. So Bobby just has a phone and she does find it difficult. So we do say that if you can use a iPad, a tablet, or you have access to a computer, then that would be really good for you, because it's just easier for you to see it. Also the workouts are online. You can stream them onto your TV. you know, in the first 6 weeks, it's kind of follow along or guided. When you move into the phase 1, you can just write down your written workouts and then you just get on with it, which is what training is different versus exercising. Training is, this is the training that I'm going to do today and I'm just going to get it done. So we're trying to teach you how to transition into that. Yep. Okay. Any other questions? You know what equipment that you'll need, because we talked about that. We've got resistance bands in there. You will need something to make your Prudies with, which is your one. Our recommend one is in our tools page online. The supplements you need, we go into supplements in the whole video and a whole guide. We look at either things like Juice Plus is a supplement we recommend, but we also recommend individuals as well if you don't want to do that. Magnesium is something that every woman needs to be taking. Vitamin D is something that every woman needs to be taking. Vitamin B for certain ones of you as well, and a probiotic, things like that. So we do give you help and advice on that. How much time will you need? 1 hour a day. Give yourself a gift of 1 hour a day. Time to read, digest, and learn. For 5 to 10 minutes to watch videos and read some information. Time to train, 4 minutes to 30 minutes. Time to food prep, eat, and self-care, 15 to 30 minutes. So you will need that. And yes, can you really achieve this online and at home? So this is the program that I wish I had exactly 7 years ago. All you need is the space of a yoga mat, the minimum investment in kit in terms of your workouts, fit it into your busy day from just 4 minutes. You do the workout whenever suits you, and we just want you to get it done, and we hold you accountable to getting it done. And you have a daily accountability and motivation from a whole community that are also going through it with you. Okay, so I'm going to press stop on this now so you guys can come and chat with me, having a drink. Anything else you want to ask, ladies? Let me just check if anybody else has signed up to get that orientation call. As I said, anybody doing the replay, we will, if you're watching the replay, so anyway, up to midnight tonight, UK time, we will honor that. Okay, so hoping some of the ladies watching replay will do that. And what we'll do, yeah, it fits everyone's lifestyle totally, because, if you're a morning person, if you are afternoon person, if you're an evening person, if you've got kids, if you've got teenagers, if you're on your own, if you're working shifts, whatever, it can be done around that. So it's not going to be we're doing a workout together at 9 a.m. It's here's the workout, you get it done, and we'll make sure you get it done. That's how we work with that. Any questions before we and I'm just waiting to see if anybody else is joining us. Get the special bonus, because I want to give you guys bonuses. I want to give those things. Okay. All right. Okay. So what we will do is, anybody also watching the replay, right? If you're watching the replay, you've got until midnight tonight. You will still get that orientation call in prep week as part of your bonus for signing up today. And I will do a draw of anybody who uses hashtag replay to get the 44 high protein plant-based meals prizes. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go through and look at everybody who has watched all of our 5 videos, and everybody who's done their homework, and we're going to put everybody into a draw, and we're going to do that draw on Monday. We're going to come live in here in the group on Monday to do another Q&A, to just touch base with you. We are not leaving you, right? Don't you think that, we've gone through this process together. We're not leaving you by the wayside. This group is obviously here always, so we're here to help and support you always. But we will be obviously from the 7th of June looking after our 6-week transformation challenge, unicorns in there. Plus we also have our Sexy Strong program running, and ladies in phase 1 and phase 4. So we're looking after them. And we really just want to say thank you so much for all the effort and your time for this week. It has been an amazing journey for the last 5 days. TGIF, I am glad that it's Friday. But we won't be leaving you alone. We'll come in and do some Q&As next week. If you've got questions about anything that's in those 5 days, you can continue to ask them. We will be answering. Our thumbs and fingers are working for you. We're going to be, basically registration will be open right the way through until the 6th of June. So you've got up to the 6th of June. You just won't get those bonuses of the recipe book and the orientation call if you sign up after today, but that's okay. You'll still get, if you sign up in full, you'll still get unicorn status options, and you'll have all of that as well. So do let us know if you have Yeah, and you get the most incredible community behind you. We are literally magical, exciting, fun, fun focused, right? I always say that the 6-week challenge is a fun challenge for women that are serious about body shape change. So it's about looking for fun women that are serious about body shape change, but just like to have a bit of fun. So that's why the unicorn's important. The unicorn, here's my little unicorn friend. People keep buying me unicorn things, as you can imagine. It's all about that symbol of a magical, invincible, mythical creature that embodies invincibility and, the courage to do hard things and being like a 1 in a million magical thing. So everybody can be a unicorn because we all have those characteristics within ourselves. And it's just working towards that unicorn status because some of us just like to wear that badge, right? Sometimes I find that even rebels in the group I'm thinking about all of the unicorns now. There's probably quite a few obligers and some upholders, but there's quite a few rebels that have become unicorns. And what I found is that they probably did it out of spite. There was probably a little part of them going, oh, she says if I follow this, that it will work. Well, I'm just going to do it and prove her wrong. That's what Brio had said once too. So, if you want to come in and prove that it doesn't work, I'm happy to still put my money where my mouth is because I know that it does, right? I know that if you follow it, you follow this program, you give it 100%, you will definitely lose that body fat, but you will also gain lean muscle. You will be sleeping better. You will have boundless energy. You will no longer be like stuck on food guilt and what you should and shouldn't be eating, or should I be eating this or doing this, or I'm going to be good today or whatever. You won't be starving yourself. You will help heal your hormones 100%, and you will just feel better. And isn't that what we want? We want to feel in control, to feel better, to feel stronger. And that's what we want for you. So, and yeah, a little bit of competitiveness, as Rose has just said, it goes a long way. Who knew women in their 40s could be so competitive? But we really are. Right? Because it's at least something we can do for us in here, right? There's something that's just for us, the sense of being alive, the sense of having fun and finding a little bit of joy in the process is really, really important. All right, ladies, I think we're going to wrap it up. Thanks again. I will be, as I said, not leaving you completely, by the wayside. We really want you to feel supported in this community, to feel like you're part of a community and part of this wonderful journey that we're all going on to feel stronger now. So if at any point you need to ask, reach out in the group. You can email us at hello@warriorgoddesskettlebell training if you've got any questions. All of the information will still be live for you to do your assignments, etc. We'll be back on Monday with a live Q&A and to do that draw to win that $100. I will be sending out Lynn her wonderful recipe book, and Trisha and Rosie will also get those bonuses because Rosie signed up yesterday. So you will definitely get those bonuses, ladies. Don't worry. And freaking out and going into self-sabotage. You're freaking out now and going into self-sabotage, or you're worried that you're going to freak out and go into self-sabotage? That would be my question, Nicolette. Because the reason why women, just so you know, I did a podcast, as you know, about, I always do a podcast about everything, ladies, but I did a podcast about self-sabotage, right? And the biggest reason why women go into self-sabotage is procrastination. We make something bigger than what it is. We make something bigger than what it is in our minds, and we're worried about failing. So my question to you is this: what if you can't fail? Right? What if in this instance, there is no such thing as failure? You either make choices in the moment that are help and serve you, or you don't, and nothing bad's going to happen if you don't. Right? That's it. What I find personally when I go into my self-sabotage little things, I generally self-sabotage when things are going well. That's just my method of self-sabotage. But we go into it in detail in that podcast. I'll pop that up for you. But when we talk about self-sabotage, it's generally because we are procrastinating making a decision because we think we're going to fail. Right? And what does failure mean? So for me, when things are going really well, I think something bad's about to happen. That's just my way of doing it. So it's going good, it's going good, it's going good. Something bad's about to happen. So I better self-sabotage before that bad thing happens. right? Versus what if there is no bad thing? What if there is no bad thing happening or going to happen and you can't fail? You can either choose to do something or not. So in the moment, the only power we have in this world, ladies, getting very deep as we wrap this up for you. The only power we have in this world is in this moment, what are we going to choose, right? What version of us are we going to present to this world? What inner, most authentic, genuine decision can I make for me, the truest me in this moment? And that is all you have. That's all you have. So when we present you with information about doing a training and whatever, that's just data. That's just information. That's just a little bit of science. It's just whatever. But you need to trust yourself that in those moments you can make a decision. So what we do as part of our programs is have you to do something accurately, to follow something so that then you can do it intuitively, so that you can trust yourself. Right now, the reason why you can't trust yourself is not your own fault, right? It's I'm going to say it's the patriarchal world of not letting women make our own decisions, right? We make decisions because we have to keep our bodies the way that they are. We have to, our bodies are valued more than the human being inside of it a lot of the time, right? We have different commitments that we have to, uphold. We have to be the good mom, the good wife, the good whatever, right? And all of this is that sense of pressure is the reason why we don't like to make decisions and trust ourselves, because we've never really tapped into our inner knowing enough to make that decision. So we give you the data so that you can start to learn to trust that inner knowing. But in my experience, unless you're somebody who's really good at meditating and taking a minute to be reflective, which a lot of women aren't, and maybe this process has helped you to take pause and take a minute to be reflective and start to tap into that inner knowing. But in order for you to have some inner knowing, you need to have educated and built up some wisdom and some experience. So wisdom and experience build up some knowing that you can then learn to trust yourself. So generally, when it comes to self-sabotage, it's because we're afraid we're going to fail because we don't trust our choices. So all I would say is, if you are worried about that, is what can you do in this moment if you know that you couldn't fail? And I'm going to leave you guys with that thought. So thank you so much with all of, yes, okay, so Nicolette's saying that, yes, so I guess I have commitment issues. It's not commitment issues that you have, it's failure issues, okay? Because commitment, for me, if I try on commitment, it feels like if I commit to something and I fail, what does that mean about me? If I don't commit to something, what does that mean about me? So it's not so much about commitment as it is about decision. And decision is literally just trusting your inner knowing. But what I always say is, if you don't have that inner knowing yet, you may need something else to trust in. And that's why we create the program in the way that we do it. And we have our coaches. So in the moments where you don't believe in yourself, we can believe in you for you until you learn to believe in yourself. And that's why you need a coach. Right? That's why you can't do it on your own, because sometimes in those deep, darkest moments where you're like, I don't know what to do, and this is really hard, you need someone to go, well, what is it that you actually want? And if you couldn't fail, if you knew that you couldn't fail, or that you didn't care about failing, what would you do? And generally, if you tap into your inner knowing, you'll know the decision for that. But just trust yourself, whatever that is. And if you can't trust yourself, know that we've got your back 100%. Yeah, we're here for you. We're rooting for you. We will always be your biggest cheerleader no matter what. Okay. So even if you fall off 10 times, we'll pick you back up to pick you up for that 11th time. That's what we're here to do to help you. All right, my ladies, I hope that helped. Thank you so much for being part of this. I really am so sad that we're ending it, but it's Friday. I want you to go and enjoy an amazing weekend. We will be back on Monday. Of course, I'll be checking in all the way through this evening and this afternoon. If you have any questions, we're here to answer you. Thank you all for being part of this. Thanks for being on live. Thanks for indulging me in my fun questioner crazy mindset that I have, because I love to give you guys information, but not all of you need to hear it. So thanks for indulging me with that. But I look forward to connecting with you all on the inside of the 6-week challenge or in our tribe community. Reach out if you need any help and support. We're going to be here always and every day to help and support you. Until then, have an amazing weekend and enjoy. Peace out.